What's that? Filming me. So what's going on is the direct action group is coming by. They're refusing to let. I'm filming me. I'm filming me. The direct action group is going by. They've been through the day not letting streamers stream. It is what it is. They're heading up towards. They're heading up towards Cal. Kind of no secret at this point because they were announcing it. What's up? You know, the problem is, and I'll continue to say this, absent streamers, absent video, then they don't control the narrative, right? They have no story. The narrative then is controlled by the mainstream media and how people want to interpret their actions. And I know that some people are going to be like, oh, but their safety and they're all that. You know, they all have cell phones in their pockets with SIM cards, or most of them do. So their motions are being tracked. They all have probably numerous apps where they've agreed to, and not even realized when they installed some of those apps, where they've agreed to the audio monitoring, tracking cookies. They all have Adobe Maids on their phone. Look up Adobe Maids, capital M, capital A, capital I, capital D, capital S. You'll be, regardless of how you feel about privacy, if you look up like Adobe Maids, you'll be really pissed off after you read that. Most of the apps they work with deal with LiveRamp. Almost all of the social media apps they have are tracking their every move. There's traffic cams, there's security cams, there's dash cams, there's Wise, Nest, Ring, business have cameras. You just go on and on and on. And to think that one individual with a camera and all of a sudden, ooh, well, if we stop that, I have privacy in 2020. It's not even 2020 United States, it's like 2020 like in the world. If you're in a city, you're not off the grid, then basically everything you're doing is being moved, is being tracked. And it should just be considered and accepted at this point. And again, as I've told some of the people in the DA group, and some of the DA group get it, you know, part of what we're trying to stream is for their own protection. If SPD starts getting spicy and they don't instigate it, meaning them, because that's typically how it goes. This is typically what you see. You'll see that there's an action and then there's an extreme response to it. But again, who controls the narrative, right? You know, there's a saying, democracy dies in the dark. And look, I'm going to say it, and if I say it at the detriment of my ability to stream at some of these events, then fine. These people do not represent Black Lives Matter. They do not stand for Black Lives Matter. And there are a lot of protesters. I can't speak for all protesters. There's a lot of protesters that don't agree with their tactics and their actions. So, you know, you know, back to this whole assumption of privacy. They're standing here. This is where it's just like, oh, don't film us. They're standing here. And I mean, look, I could, if I had access, I could go there, open a window right up there, and I would have a shot. Really no different than if I was using my pole cam. That's a skateboarder. That's not anything there. The sound echoed. If it kind of like sounded to you like the sound came in that direction, it was just a skateboarder. One of the businesses down here, I'm not going to say who, because I don't want them to get targeted, but one of the businesses down here was talking to me, not camera, off the record, and they were expressing frustration because this particular business was very, very supportive of Black Lives Matter and very, very supportive of CHOP. Really supportive. Probably outside, because Converge Media's offices were in CHOP. They're probably number 2 behind Converge Media, and they're very frustrated because like the DA crew is coming in there and they're telling, this is what they told, and they volunteered. I wasn't like, hey, tell me your opinion about the DA protesters, right? It had nothing to do with that at all. It was just, kind of a conversation, because I got press badged and yada, yada, yada. So, and they expressed a lot of frustration with me because what they told me was the DA crew is coming in and harassing them, and they're like, but we don't understand because we helped, we supported, we did all these things. And again, I'm not going to say what they did. I'm just going to say I know firsthand. And they weren't like advocates and supporters because it was convenient for them. They took property damage from Seattle police, from rubber bullets and and tear gas and all that other stuff. They were extremely supportive, probably to the detriment of their business, even though they were supporting to the business. And and they're a minority-owned business. They're not a black-owned business, but they're a POC. They're a person of color-owned business. You shouldn't crap on your own. And it's just very, very frustrating. So, because eventually the way this is going to play out, because this is what I saw on Occupy. I mean, the way that it's going to play out, it's not going to play out well. The police will control the narrative. And they'll be, well, that isn't the way that it happened. But the only camera angles, the only streams, the only thing that are going to be there are going to be SPD body cams. And they won't control the narrative then. And so it's just setting themselves up for failure.
I mean, I'm a streamer too. I help out. It's all about how you do it. You know what I'm saying?
Well, no, I had permission with that group a couple of nights ago. And
were you the one with the long stick?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, what I would suggest is just like, you know what I'm saying? Keep a distance and show them that you're making sure, because they're paranoid, and especially like, you know what I'm saying? If you're just a bald old man, like it's true, it's real. Like, well, you know what I'm saying? But look, like they gonna forget. You know what I'm saying? There's so many faces out here. You know what I'm saying? And you have a whole different camera setup now, so it's like, and they're paranoid over anything. So
yeah,
it's just like, just show them you mean well and whatever.
We've tried, because it's not just me. It's basically a lot of the other streamers are running into the same issues. I mean, I really get what you're saying. Saying.
I'll run into those issues too.
Yeah, I'll speak for the streamer community. So one of the things that we kind of scratch our heads on is there's cameras everywhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
there's security cameras. There's Ring. There's Wise. There's Nest.
Like they're on.
There's traffic cameras. Right. There's just cameras everywhere.
And a lot of these people break their own rules too. They be filming as well.
Well, that we know too, because sometimes we see it, right? Because I know, like on that night 2 nights ago, right, with the poll, and I was told, nope, you got to stop. And I'm like, but I am standing. I don't understand. I'm doing everything you guys asked me to do. I don't understand what the problem is. And I'll say this too, like if you were in that group, straight up, you guys left me unsafe because you forced me out of the group. And now I'm walking around with a big 9-foot pole going, hi, how you doing? I'm a Black Lives Matter supporter who's been out here streaming, and I'm now by myself. So please come kick my ass.
Right.
You guys.
And there's definitely gonna be some right wingers watching your shit too.
I know they do. I know they do, and I've been doxxed.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Up, same. They fucking, I was in the right wing crowd today, and they seen me on my stream. They started pointing me out and shit. I had to leave. It was bad.
Yeah.
Bro, I would suggest, like, one thing that helped me in particular is just like standing out from the crowd of cameramen. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
Yep.
make yourself known as that guy. You know what
Yep.
I'm saying? That's the reason why Omari's where he's at now too. You know what I'm saying? Like,
But they ran Omari off too.
oh yeah, no, definitely. But you know, he still, to a certain degree, has at least a small place, just like you still do. It's not completely over for you.
Yeah.
And like same with me, like I've been ran out for different situations too. And like, I don't know, what I would suggest is just like, I don't know, get a cool hat that they know you buy, or like, you know what I'm saying, that one shirt or something.
Yep.
But
Yep.
also that's dangerous too though, because then you get ID'd by the cops and they might like
Right.
target you because they know that you're trying to get a certain
Right.
perspective. Or
Well, I dressed differently today because I didn't expect it to be as spicy today, right? And when I was down at that Blue Lives Matter shit show earlier today, and there was so many people there, it's just not a good spot for pole cam. And I know that some of the right wingers know pole cam, and I wanted to be able to go in there and film. And I knew if I showed up at the pole, it just was going to happen, right? Or worse, I get waffle stomped by some Proud Boys while SPD just let
What you
it
need
happen.
is just a little selfie stick. You know what I'm saying? Cover that shit with red, white, and blue.
Well,
but then
well,
these
well-
guys will never let you back. For
Yeah, I
real.
know. Well, that's
Low
exactly
key.
it, right? It's all about balancing it. You know, I get that they want the assumption of privacy, but I meant, you know, I think you heard what I was saying, right?
Not really. but-
Oh, you know, what I was saying is, if the shit hits the fan and no one's filming, then the SPD body cams are going to control the narrative, if that's the only film that exists.
High key.
And then, right, and then they're going to control the story.
No,
Because
that's for real.
you've got nothing to go.
They
Well, wait a minute. They
blurt
start, right?
certain parts out, hide
Yeah.
faces, and then you don't even know what happened.
Yeah, we're just going to start at the point after we threw the tear gas canisters, not the
Ouch.
before,
They're throwing
right?
things at us.
And now they're throwing things at us. Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. And I know that because I've been up here since June, right? Since early June. And I've been up here and I've been tear gas and pepper sprayed and dodged rubber bullets, and I've seen how they react. And that's why I'm still out here, because my eyes got opened up. So like, holy shit. This is how the police act? Are you fucking kidding me?
Right.
And that's why I tell people they need to come down and see it from the cell. I took a baton to the stomach today. Down at
What?
the, yeah.
Man.
Yeah, there was some of the protesters were in with the other protesters, and so they're behind the rail, and there's some pushing and shoving that started, and I'm just shooting it, and there was an SPD cop could have reached out, touched his hand, and he caught my attention because he was breathing so hard, so I could tell he was a ball of adrenaline or he was scared, one or the other, right?
A little bit of both, probably.
Probably a little of both, and it wasn't anything like back here early June. Down, as you know, that was nothing, right?
No, definitely.
And this guy looked like he was ready to pass out or shit his pants or run. I don't know which. And then, you know, all of a sudden, you know, somebody says, hey, move it back. And he friggin' just whacks me with the baton. And I'm like, holy shit, dude, I got press on. Are you
They
fucking
want that.
kidding me?
They like
Me?
that shit.
Oh, he, again, I just looking at him, and it was like he was just looking for an excuse. And the funny thing is, I called it on the stream about 2 or 3 minutes before it happened. I was like, hey, there's this guy, you know, this cop right here, and I called his name out. B. David. His name was B. David.
The cop?
Yeah. You know, and I'm like, he just is looking for an excuse, or he's just scared shitless. And then, you know what? If he's scared in that fucking situation, because that was nothing, he's got no business being a cop. None.
Right.
Because that's the kind of guy that's just going to say, drop your weapon, shoot somebody 5 times, and then go, oh shit, it was a salami sandwich.
It's fun because that's over like half of them that really keep that energy low key. Like I've seen a lot of those guys like really itching at the line, like
Oh, totally. You can see them. You can totally see them. You can tell by their body language because of the way they hold their nightsticks or batons, or the ones that'll get the pepper spray out and just, you know, they just basically walk up and the pepper spray can's already in their hand. They're just ready to fucking go. Right?
I'm about to get some food.
Yeah, dude.
Come on.
Best tamales in the city.
Yeah. If I see you out here at the little shit, I'll definitely try and vouch for you.
Yeah, I hear you.
Make
I'm
sure
on
you
your
don't destroy
side.
the
I mean, I
camera.
get it. They don't want to show their faces and
Yeah.
stuff. And that's one of the reasons on the DA stuff, I'll bring the poll cam. Because if you ever watched Eric Greatwood, you ever watched Eric Greatwood down in Portland, that's why I started doing it. When that's up like 15 feet high, especially when it's kind of dark,
Tops of head.
you're just seeing tops of heads, the faces are kind of blurry. I mean, if somebody does that, there's nothing, you know what I mean? If you're that stupid, there's
Yeah.
nothing I can do right at that point.
Especially if
But
you got like a 20-foot distance. Like,
Yeah,
it's definitely
that's
better.
exactly it. It's like if I'm 20 feet back and I'm 15 feet up and I'm down, what do we see? You see the story. Not going to deny that. But you got, especially if they're holding an umbrella up, they're not going to see shit.
Bro, it's crazy on my stream today, right? So I'm streaming. It was all fine and good at first. Like, I had my red, white, and blue on or whatever. And then after a while, as everyone starts to leave, you know, what is her name? Marilyn Perry. She always got the press hat, and she has like GoPros on all her.
Okay.
Well, she's like a known like right-wing blogger or something like that.
Okay.
/ doxer, I think, because she just all she does is take pictures of people's face up close. She notices me not because that like it's me, because I'm straight up like incognito.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? She notices me, and at the exact same time, the Yellow Brigade, their sergeant, what's his name?
Yeah. I know who you're talking about. I can't think of that
He
motherfucker's
starts looking
name.
at me all types of crazy. The same guy that has been talking to all these Blue Lives Matter people, like giving them respect and talking to them, doesn't want to talk to me and is laughing at me with his friends. You know what I'm saying? Like, I never exposed myself, so it's like, bro, they watching that stream, and that's like, is one of the reasons why they kind of have like a valid reason to be a little bit freaked out, because, bro, they got the right wingers on there and they got the police.
No, I
It's
know.
Like, it's facts at this point. Like,
I know.
Especially if you really got a fan base. Like, it's, ooh. I'm gonna get my food.
All right, go get your tamales.
Come on.
Good
If I see you
talking.
out here, I'm vouching for you.
Yeah,
What's your name
you'll
again?
see me. David.
Ty.
Nice to meet you, man.
CHAI.
CHI, sorry. Nice to meet you. Well, there you go. I didn't want to show his face out of respect. See how that works? All right, well, anyway, there's nothing else really going on here anyway. They've dissolved into Cal Anderson Park. I got a little tiny little project to do. Actually, I'm gonna do a shout out. I already did the shout out for Rancho Bravo. That was where I was saying go get the tamales. Rancho Bravo tamales. But I'm also going to do a shout out for Dirty Dog Hot Dog. This is where I had lunch today. Because I've been giving Rancho Bravo a bunch of love, and I was like, all I do is pimp hard for Dirty Dog. So I'm going to give a shout out for Dirty Dog Hot Dog today. So stick around for the shout out for Dirty Dog Hot Dog. You know, just because I don't agree with an action or agree with a group, what they're doing, that doesn't mean that that action, that group, doesn't deserve to have their story told, doesn't deserve to have coverage. Right? I went to the police thing today. I've done the direct act, you know, like if you think of everything I've covered in the 4 days, I've covered about the full spectrum. And taken crap from both sides. So, but anyway, I want to put a big, awesome shout out for Dirty Dog Hot Dogs. These peeps, they were here the whole time. They were here every second of chop. And that cart was right here. They were literally cooking while the tear gas was still flying. And this is amazing hot dogs. They also have veggie hot dog options. $6. I had what I like to call an East Precinct dog. I made that up. What an East Precinct dog is, it's a spicy dog with grilled onions, a little cream cheese, jalapenos, and spicy mustard. You know, because it's really spicy, but it still goes down smooth. I'm going to put a shout out actually for one more spot. Come around the corner here. Here's East Precinct. They have reinforced the outside more. I don't know what the blue braces are. I'm just going to presume it's more reinforcement. Interestingly, after the Seattle Fire Department's report that the quote-unquote hole in the wall was probably caused by Seattle Police Department, and that the hole in the inside wall doesn't even line up to the hole in the outside wall. Again, according to the Seattle Fire Department, which is why I just can't take any more from Carmen Best. I just won't even listen to her anymore. You can tell when she's lying because her lips are moving. And again, that was somebody I was kind of like, oh, cool. I was excited. I was encouraged when Carmen Best became police chief, and she has not lived up to any of the expectations. This is the other place I want to give a big shout out to. Soju Anju. Oh my God, this place is so good. The Korean food here is amazeballs. There goes SPD. Yellow is for East Precinct, as I understand the color codes. Anyway, Soju Anju, seriously, amazing, amazing, amazing Korean food. Put their phone number up. So, like, if you wanted to do like a delivery order, if you live in Seattle, there you go. Yeah, Facebook, I'm doing a free advertisement because you allow me to do it. I can actually do crap like this now. Before I would have to be like on the Facebook feed in particular, like I am not doing active or commercial Facebook, but I can do free promo. We have enough followers, I can kind of do the free promo stuff now. Anyway, there's my shameless plug for Soju Anju. If you want Korean food fix, holy crap. Seriously. You probably can't see that too well. There's glare. I mean, it's the real deal, and it's really freaking good. And they need the love. I kind of this was the place I was a few days ago. I was saying they opened on March 1. March 7th here in Washington State, because we were the first state really hit with COVID. Basically, by March 7th, everyone was afraid to just go out and eat anymore. March 14th, they closed the schools. March 23rd, we did the whole lockdown. June 1, was the reopening day. And the whole thing at CHOP started basically on May 31. And where the East Precinct building was right there, even though they were on the other side of the line, they were not technically in CHOP. This is by less than a half a block considered outside of CHOP. They had that. Then Seattle police ordered all the business areas in here closed for about 10 days. They opened up sooner than 10 days, and then they had that closure. So they have had one hell of March, April, May, June, July. And their food is amazing. And I would love to see good restaurants continue. Good restaurants owned by good people. Minority-owned restaurant also. Person of color. All right, malcontents, that's it. I think I'm going to go head over. Going to do the Lantern Festival at Burke, and I think I'm going to kind of start migrating over there.